Do you want to know the easiest way to blow your budget? Welcome back to Free to Be, and today we're going to be talking about impulse purchases. Now, these kind of purchases will totally destroy your budget, and so we're going to talk about some ways to avoid them and what you should be looking out for before you make the mistake and just going and buying things that you might not need. So let's get started. As always, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and turn on those notifications because we upload videos every Sunday in the financial literacy world that'll help guide you to become financially independent. And if you're not new to the channel, thanks for joining me again. I do really appreciate everyone's support. So let's get right into this. So impulse purchases. So these are basically things that you might not need, but you might want, and you might not even want them, right? They're things that'll instantly gratify you. You know, going to a store, it happens to all of us. Let's say grocery shopping, for example, and you're walking down the aisles and all of a sudden you see, this bright, shiny new box, something that looks good, usually a sweet, and you decide that you want to buy it. Now, obviously that's on a smaller scale because a $3, $5 hit to your grocery budget isn't going to destroy you. But this actually plays into a bigger part when you're out maybe buying a new phone and you see some other electronic that you need, or if you're just hanging out at the Apple store. Impulse purchases are always a bad idea. They will destroy your budget. And guys, I'm guilty of this too. So first person to raise their hand and say that this is all me as well, walking around in the mall, aimlessly without any actual plan or targeted objective, you're gonna buy things that you don't need. It happens, right? But how do you identify it? How can you avoid it so that it doesn't just, destroy your financial well-being? You don't want to end up in a scenario where you're just walking around on one Saturday casually with no intention of spending money, and then next thing you know, you spent $300, $400, $500. You want to try to avoid that at all costs because those things add up, right? If it's just even one weekend a month where you're spending an extra $500, that's basically $6,000 in a year. That money could be used elsewhere. And if you do need those items, you can plan those out accordingly as well. You just shouldn't be doing it on an impulse basis. So how do you avoid this, right? How do you get out of the habit or avoid the pattern of making impulse purchases? Well, there's a few tips that you can follow that'll help you avoid making these type of purchases. The first thing is you're gonna wanna stick to whatever budget you have. If you have $200 allocated to fund money, stick to the $200 that you have. Even if it means that you avoid a purchase that's $240, that $40, again, is outside of your budget, stick to the budget you put in place. So if you want something that's $240 and you have $200 allocated to fund money, wait 1 month, roll the $200 over to the next month, and now you have $400 allocated to the same fund money fund, and you can spend $240 on the item that you wanted then. Now the next thing you're gonna wanna do is stick to a plan. Build a plan when you're going shopping. If you're going to buy, new shirts for work, stick to that plan. Get in there, buy those new shirts, and leave. Don't wander around, maybe look for some new shoes or pants or belt when you're there. If you're just looking for shirts, get in there, get the shirts, get out. This is also very important when you go grocery shopping, guys. Make a list, stick to the list, and finally, don't go to the grocery store when you are hungry because you will most definitely make impulse purchases that way. You're gonna walk and roam the aisles and just look for snack items, things that you would, immediately satisfy your hunger that aren't on your list, that'll kill your budget. So always shop with a plan, specifically with grocery shopping, and make a list. Avoid it when you're hungry. Now the next thing you wanna do is wait before you make a purchase. And this is especially true with big purchases. Always wait 24 hours. That's just a golden rule to follow when you're making a big purchase. Sleep on it, guys. Because more often than not, you'll just wake up the next morning and be like, I don't really actually need that. Let's go on and live this next day. So always sleep on it. Wait 24 hours before you make that purchase. All right, so the next thing you're gonna wanna manage is the email list that you're on, because those emails are targeted to you to make you wanna buy things on an impulse basis, okay? You get those emails where it says coupon expires 24 hours, or sale, 48-hour sale, weekend sale, right? Those are targeted to you to make you want to go and buy things that you might not necessarily need. So manage those. Unsubscribe from them if you can, but don't join too many of them if that's an option as well. Now this next one kind of goes without saying, but don't shop when you're emotional. Don't shop when you're too happy. Don't shop when you're too sad. Don't shop when there's emotion involved because you will overshop. It's a thing that humans do. It's really weird that we substitute goods to try to fill in these emotional voids that we have. Or again, if it's a euphoric thing where I just got a raise and I'm so happy, I might go buy 4 suits, but I don't need 4 suits. Avoid it. Avoid shopping when emotion is in play. When you're running high on emotions, avoid shopping. Next tip is, if you're lucky enough to have one of these, bring someone with you that will keep you in check. Now make sure it's someone who is a little bit tighter when it comes to spending, that will keep you in check and balance you out. So if you're ready to make an impulse purchase, they might talk you out of it. You don't want to run into a scenario where you're bringing a yes person with you, where you're like, oh, should I buy this? And they're like, yep, you should definitely buy it. You don't want to have that happen, so make sure you're bringing somebody who will keep you in check and help you stick to your budget. If that's a spouse, significant other, a friend, whatever it may be, make sure you have one of those with you. And finally, guys, it's really important, shop in cash. Have cash with you, take only as much cash as you need, and that will help you tremendously. I mean, there's no way around it, right? If you only have $50 to go buy one shirt, you can't spend $100. You only have the $50 in hand. Likewise, if you're about to make a big purchase, if you take, $1,000 and you're ready to go buy a new camcorder or a new laptop, and you have $1,000 in hand cash, you might consider not buying that item. If you might not need to upgrade your laptop, $1,000 in your hand is a powerful thing to have, right? Almost always when I have a large sum of cash in my hand, I don't want to spend it. But with cards, it's easy. Credit card, you give it out, done. You don't even have to think about it. But when you have a sum of cash in your hand, it's way more difficult to spend that money. And remember, guys, I'm not saying don't splurge. I'm not saying don't treat yourself, but it has to be incorporated into your budget. You just want to avoid impulse purchases whenever possible, because those will destroy the budget. Those will basically impact your financial future. If you're constantly making impulse buys, it adds up over time. Like I said, if you spend, let's say, even $100 a month, that's $1,200 extra a year, and over 5 years, you're looking at basically $6 grand. That's money that could be used elsewhere, that could be setting you up for your financial future, for your financial freedom. So think about it twice before you do it. So that's all I got today, guys. Did you find the video helpful? If you did, leave me a comment below and let me know. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.